Snow White. Everybody loves Snow White right now. Can't you tell? All the articles that are coming out about how much everybody loves. They love Rachel Zegler. They love Snow White. They love everything about this remake that's getting made. If you can't tell, I'm being sarcastic.
People are more excited about hating Snow White at this point than they are excited about watching the movie, which is a little bit cringe. Like, I don't know, the hard-on that people get for talking about how woke everything is these days, even if it's true, it's like, do we need to harp on it that much?
It's like Barbie all over again.
So one of these accounts on Twitter that claims to have all the inside industry scoops has claimed that Snow White herself has been turned into an independent liberal socialist in this version of the movie. And she leads a revolution with the bandits against the evil queen.
Can't wait. Doesn't that sound great? Like I was watching a video yesterday.
There's no validation for this though.
No.
Like, we can't verify whether this is true.
But here's the thing.
I think they're trying to Robin Hoodify Snow White. I guess. Like, also he claimed that Jonathan, her male love interest, is not a prince. He's one of the bandits.
So she likes the bad boys, is what you're saying.
The bandits are like Robin Hoods.
You ladies can understand, right? Loves the bad boys.
Can't resist.
Robin Hoods, and they steal from the queen to feed the poor.
Yeah.
Was that part of Snow White?
Robin Hood.
I don't remember that being ever part of the original Snow White.
Just
That's
call it something
just
different.
stealing from Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Ironically, right?
Why do you think it is that they're so hell-bent? Like, even if we're to say that she's not I do like the idea of Snow White has like a little like red salute on her gown. Like she's party affiliated.
It literally sounds like a propaganda parody piece made by the far right.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like.
But why do you think it is that Hollywood is so hell-bent on preventing women from seeing positive examples of men and women relying on each other in movies? Meaning that, like, you know, they talk about, like, you save yourself. Well, that's not really how the real world works. Most of the time, you don't save yourself in the real world. You have to at least ask for help from friends and loved ones, but you don't even see that. Right?
I think they're fine with it when a male character relies on a female character
yes,
to
absolutely.
save the day.
But they can't have
it's
a woman
only
be
the
saved
other way
by a
around
guy.
that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like I think it's either a runaway train where it just keeps like snowballing and getting worse and worse, or like, to be, I guess not really conspiratorial, but I know China like watches a lot of these movies, so I'm curious to see like what their demographic is and what sells in China. Yeah.
And for a lot of these, this movie probably won't do super well in China. I mean, American movies have lost their luster.
Why? Because they're racist?
No, I mean, yeah, that too. But in general, the American movies seem to have lost their luster in China. Barbie did well in China, oddly enough. But in general, they seem to be far more focused on their own box office now.
I'm surprised it wasn't censored. Barbie wasn't censored in China.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because of the trans Barbie and... I don't know, a tinge of homosexuality. According to Kuwait and Saudi Arabia.
Isn't China super against like ladyboys? Wasn't that like a law that was passed?
They want to masculinize they want to make sure they're not raising sissy men.
Yeah, the men aren't allowed to dress certain ways or like have their hair a certain way.
Wow. It was sissy boys, I think, not lady boys. That's Thailand or whatever.
I think that's Thailand or Philippines.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know if it's just an obsession where they want to culturally change everything that we understand as part of the real world, or if it's just this director happened to have that motive. But it seems like it's being pushed by not just her, but by Gal Gadot.
Yeah, Gal Gadot was going way harder on the interpretation of the original than, honestly, Rachel Zegler was. Yeah. She was interjecting as much as she possibly could, saying like, she's not gonna be saved by the prince.
Weird.
And then Rachel Zegler's like, weird. So we're not gonna do that this time.
I like the idea that what they should do, they should just turn it into a parody and actually lean into it, actually make the prince a stalker. Like, he just follows her around and
just go like lean into that trope. If that's what you interpreted from the original, like lean into that. Make her like the dumbest like bimbo damsel in distress.
Oh my God.
Possible.
Do this.
Yeah.
I need help. who could save me? And then he's like, I could save you. Like, let's just do that. We should make them all into parodies. I think Disney should go through their own parody phase. That's what they should do next. They should turn all of these stories into either horror movies or parodies.
I mean, think about the way that little girls play with their dolls. I'm sure that little girls have princess dolls that are damsels in distress that need to be saved, and they get rescued and drama ensues. Like, that's the type of story they want to see, right?
Yeah.
What would make
We're pouring like hundreds of millions of dollars into not giving them what they like.
Also, does this mean that like the queen is like the evil capitalist and that she's
the princess, like the archetype of the Disney princess is supposed to have this inexplicable magnetism for all of like Mother Nature, like the birds flock to her and she's in total complete harmony with the earth, and she's like empathetic and feeling and nurturing and dynamic. And instead they've taken the evil queen archetype and just forced it into the princess appearance. And what is the evil queen supposed to be then? What are they?
They're just both evil together.
Like, are they going to end up friends at the end? I don't understand.
Yeah, they'll redeem all the bad characters because they like to do shades of gray now. They don't like to have hard and fast rules on good and bad.
And Gal Gadot, she's obviously gorgeous. Why is she playing the evil queen who was not that?
Yeah.
Is she gonna be pretty, or are they gonna make her ugly? Do we know?
It's impossible to make Gal Gadot ugly.
It's really funny.
I mean, I remember wasn't the Snow White evil queen like more like she slayed like more than the other villains in Disney princess movies?
Yeah. It's like
so
she
I get
was
that.
almost the fairest of them all, but then Snow White came along and took that from her.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they just need to make an R-rated version of this where like she is on the run from the 7 creatures. And they're out to get her, and it becomes like a survival horror where she's running from the creatures, and she sacrifices the queen.
It's public domain when?
Pretty soon.
Pretty soon.
I think.
Maybe we'll see that.
But a horror version, or I do like the parody version, because you know what's going to happen eventually? They're going to remake all of them, and if they don't do sequels, we're going to end up with awful Marvel versions of this thing where they're going to have like team-up movies where I'm going to have to watch Snow White and Sleeping Beauty and The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast are all going to be together in one movie, and it's going to be horrible.
So why were they allowed to make Snow White and the Huntsman in like 2012?
I mean, isn't that part of the larger story, part of public domain?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe.
I didn't know that.
Like the Grimm fairy tales.
But at least the Disney version of it is going to be public domain soon. Okay.
But wasn't the somebody said before like again, I don't know if I ever saw Snow. Believe it or not, as a guy, I don't know if I ever saw Snow White. But somebody pointed out, they said, wasn't the queen actually supposed to be fair? So somebody in the chat says the queen was fair. Was
she was like the hottest villain, I think.
Okay.
For Disney.
Well,
they'll just drop Maleficent in there too, and
Yeah.
and get Angelina Jolie. But that's who played Maleficent, right? Angelina
Yeah.
Jolie. They'll get her back. I like the idea of making it a horror movie. I think they should just make it a horror movie. They can actually just make Snow White a serial killer.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
change
She's
it.
picking off the animals one by one, and it's actually about the animals surviving as like a family. Like because they won't do dwarves, so they have to do like magical creatures.
Yeah.
So they'll have her hunt down the 7 magical creatures, and they're all like scared and terrified. And when they find out like it's this evil supervillain, like serial killer, and it's just a tiny little woman wearing a Democratic Socialist of America shirt.
Well, she would be a vegan though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's a plot hole.
Yeah, she's not killing them for food. She's just killing them just to do it.
For the joy of
just
it.
for the joy of it, because she's evil. And then maybe the queen is the good guy in this one and is trying to stop her, since everybody would rather like Gal Gadot anyways. Nobody wants to like Rachel Zegler. You make Rachel Zegler the bad guy, and you turn it into a horror movie, and then finally the queen saves the day by warning them, and then they all spring a trap for her at the end.
What does
I
was just going to ask, what does it even mean to be the fairest of them all?
I think it was
Is
an
it
old school way of just being the most attractive person.
Well, what was
Okay.
the lesson in that? Like at the end of the movie.
There's a $20 one here
Snow
from
White.
Eratess00 says, Brett, the team up movie is just Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
JP
no.
Breg, yeah.
Yeah.
To answer your question, I don't know like the details, but I think
Because
the
I
point-
mean, Snow White was. Isn't it supposed to be like her beauty is also on
Yeah.
the inside, and that's why the evil queen isn't the fairest of them all?
Are they making
Right.
a Bambi movie? Are they ever going to do live action Bambi?
They're
be
making
awful.
the Bambi horror movie right now.
So the Bambi, so the
Yeah.
deer
Oh,
just gets drilled.
That's awful.
we just
There's
got-
a
is
horror
it-
$20
movie.
super
It
chat
already is one.
from Ian Crossland says Snow White a plane crash movie where they go down in the frosty mountains and the 7 of the surviving passengers become cannibals. She must escape.
That's incredible.
So it's like the soccer team that landed in the jungle and then all turned into cannibals, except for it's Snow White.
I don't hate this
they're all
at all.
hunting her.
That's really
Ian,
creative.
you
creative.
you should copyright that real quick
Yeah,
before
thank you,
somebody
Ian.
else gets
I mean,
to that.
nowadays you can make any movie and just call it Snow White or just call it whatever they want to call it, even if it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with the original. Really,
Yeah.
Like, it's not even the same plot.
Somebody mentioned Blood and Honey. We reviewed Blood and Honey.
I
Winnie
believe
the
it's
Pooh.
the same studio that's making the Bambi
Yeah.
horror movie.
And
Oh, cool.
the Tinkerbell one too, or the Peter Pan one. I think they're making a Peter Pan one
With
as well.
Jennifer Lawrence or
Are they?
No.
I don't know. Speculated.
Hennifer.
And then what was the other thing we were talking about? Rachel Zegler earlier, that she they were talking about how Katniss Everdeen was.
She's the director of the new Hunger Games movie, the prequel movie, said that Katniss Everdeen was like an asexual character, and Rachel Zegler's character Lucy Gray is she wears her sexuality on her sleeve.
What does that mean?
And I just can't really
I feel like
imagine.
that's illegal.
I can't imagine Rachel Zegler having sexuality. Period.
She's like yelling at them.
Like-
She's like, donate to Antifa.
If anything, that's contradictory because Jennifer Lawrence was the Hollywood starlet sex pot girl
Right.
Yeah.
when she played Katniss.
Yep.
Right.
She was a model before,
Yeah.
and it was like discovered. She was like trying to be a model in LA, and she was discovered.
It's I have no desire to see that, but I didn't. I think I saw one of the Hunger Games movies. It wasn't.
I thought they were
I liked them.
pretty good.
Guilty pleasure.
Are we gonna go see that?
Let's
I-
go.
I mean, I think we probably should, but
Okay.
like it's supposed to be a prequel, so you don't really need the context of the other ones.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, but there will probably be Easter eggs that are going to be really
Yeah, for all the nerds, but
Wink
I'm
at
not
the
gonna get-
camera, annoying Easter
I read the
eggs.
books. I'm not gonna get the Easter eggs either, so I don't care.
Yeah. So yeah, we can just do that with this movie. But it is fun to cover these types of topics because they tend to be these types of things where it's like, so a guy said to a guy at a coffee shop that he was working on the Snow White movie, and he was saying that she was a socialist, and
And
I'm just-
everyone is so thirsty for more rage bait content
like us.
that like us that
Though we're
it's
not outraged.
spread this far on the internet.
Yeah.
And we're not. But the thing is, though, is I work very hard to not be outraged. Very little of the. I'm kind of dead inside with most of this stuff. Like I read something that's annoying, and I'm like,
Okay.
it's fine.
I'm not hell bent on disliking the Snow White movie. Like I'm gonna go in dead inside, like you said, Brett.
Yep.
And if I'm impressed, I'm impressed. If I'm not, I'm not.
I mean, we
No
didn't give an
expectation.
awful review to The Little Mermaid.
No, because it wasn't awful.
Yeah, it was whatever. Like it
It
wasn't
was
good,
just as
but it
soulless
was
as you would expect it to be, and that's fine.
a cash grab. What would be interesting is to see some of these studios. Like one of the things that's annoying is like the production value outside of the CGI, which can be dicey, but a lot of people don't catch it when it's dicey or not. Is like they're always too polished with these stories with Disney. So it's like I'd like something that looked a little bit more rough around the edges. Everything always looks so clean and well done that it just feels corporate.
I mean, with live action.
Yes, with all the live action stuff, it
versions.
always looks so clean polished because it is a Hollywood movie, and Hollywood has mastered the art of what they do. But if you're going to tell these stories over again, and one of the things you're worried about is that the general audience who aren't Disney fanatics are worried that you're a soulless cash grab of a company just looking to make a few bucks, maybe make it a little rough around the edges to give it a unique feel so that it doesn't
Yeah.
feel like it's like this major studio just churned out this like just soulless, bland, drab piece of entertainment that it was paint by numbers. It's like when we watched the thing about how to make a movie trailer. It's a formula.
Yeah.
It's like I was talking
but
with
the characters that people love the most are the ones that aren't paint by numbers, the ones that have some unflattering self-realizations.
Yeah.
That make mistakes and admit to faults and learn from them.
Yeah.
but like they're not planning on making any movies like that with a female protagonist anytime soon.
Yeah.
I also don't think that it's you can always just turn an animated movie into a live action one and that it will translate well.
Like, why? It's inherently because you think that the animation medium is lesser than, when in fact it's the reason why people love it.
Right, exactly.
Like,
Lion King proved that.
Yeah.
Lion
Yes,
King,
yeah.
Aladdin, probably.
no one gave a
Snow
shit about
White.
the Aladdin live action. Like, no one cared about it.
It was so
It
bad.
made
No
like
one liked the
it made like
Mulan.
$1 billion.
Main character was a genie. Like you can't
Okay,
make that.
no
live
one is
action.
gonna remember that movie.
Well, that's because
No one.
that
Mulan?
Will Smith
Oh.
got the bad luck of having to play the same role as Robin Williams, which was never going to work out as well. Should
How
have
did-
gotten,
how
should have
did
gotten Alex
Mulan-
Jones to play the genie.
How did Mulan do in China?
Not good.
Because
Mulan-
it is kind of a controversial topic. I mean, it's cross-dressing.
Yeah.
That's not really...
I'm telling you right now, Alex Jones is the genie in the next version. A blue Alex Jones is like
I would love that.
grants you your
Can
wishes.
someone please edit and blue Alex Jones genie?
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.